and then you have to go live in production system, and you will have the system landscape everywhere. Development of the BI connected to the ECC development, and QAS of BI connected to the ECC QAS, and production of BI connected to the ECC production. This is the landscape you will see everywhere. So here you have, for example, you have created some project data flow. You will create in a request and you will transfer to the QAS, because here it is called play client, and you will have some data. It is a junk data, and here you will have some replica of production system, but it is not completely the production system. It will have some records, so you can do the testing, and you can do the end user training. You can do such activities here, and then in production system it is go live, it is ready. That is where the business processes takes place. So business transactions will take place in production system, and we do the development in development client.
Okay.
So for better coordination of complex developments, generally when you develop any data flow, when you have to transport the objects, you have to keep them in the packages. For that purpose, in order to organize and categorize them, we create transport packages. And each object has an object directory entry, where exactly one transport package can be entered. For example, you have an object directory entry. Here I will show you for every object. You see here object directory entry in extras. You click that, and you can see that there is a local object $TMP. That means it is not transportable. So you can change this to the some transportable package. Generally, when you join, you will be given all the details of the transport packages in ECC and in BW. For example, it will be like ZBW, ZBW100, etc. The name of the transport package, and your user will be created. For example, you can see that here we got a user. My username is Shahid. Here, where do we create user? There is a transaction code SU01. So here you create users. So you can see the list of users available here in the system. So if you want to create a new user, you will create it by coming here SU01. So if for every object, when you go to extras, you don't particularly keep extras. Either it can be in extras or environment. We have to check sometimes, because it depends on every version to version, and back to every software to software. So sometimes it is in environment, sometimes it is in extras. So sometimes it is very confusing. So what we are looking for is ultimately object directory entry, which will hold the request details. Here it was a $TMP, and we changed it to some package BDL3N, and when you continue this object will be returned to that package. So now it is transportable. It is not local object anymore, so that we can transport it to the other systems. and there is a, for example, what is transport requested. When you develop any object, you have an intention to transport that object. In order to do that, you have to assign that to the transport request. So I mean, you can assign, first of all, when you assign an object to the transport request, there is a task created. I mean, it doesn't return in direct transport request. For example, transport request will be there. To check all the transport requests, there is a transaction code SE10, and then you go to the this display. Here you have Adiwale and Shahid. These are the two. I mean, we are the two users here, so we got two different transport requests here created. So for this, if you expand this, I have few like tasks. These are all called tasks. So all the objects we create, for example, zero text info area, SAP application component, anything we create will be returned to the task. And you can see this many info areas I have created for the info area, and it will give the name and it will be returned to the task. So there will be a transport request TR, which is always named by TR. That is the jargon. I mean, that is the terminology which you need to understand. Generally, no one says transport request. We say just TRs and the imports and exports, escalations, etc. SLE, I mean SLA, service level agreement. What is service level agreement? It is it is the agreement between the client and the customer, so that we are providing them some solutions. So it is agreement that we are going to provide it by uh, certain days or certain time. So if you are in support, you will come across SLA again and again, because every ticket has SLA. You will get a ticket. You might have to resolve it in, if it is a critical priority ticket, then you have to resolve it in 4 hours. So that is the service level agreement, that you have to do it in 4 hours. Or some, if it is normal priority, you have to do it in 2 hours, 2 days. So like that, there are different agreements for, and they change from organization to organization. So that is called service level agreement, and here we are talking about TR. So we got tasks here where we do, several tasks can be assigned to one transport request that can take the transport object from a certain developer. So for example, I am creating objects, and a task will be created, and all the objects I have created, you can see that, you have seen that all of them were in, it's not just one, there are multiple objects in one task. There's only one transport request, and there are multiple tasks, and each task has multiple objects. So this is where you release the task. You have to right click and release. Release directly. So here when you click this, it will be released, and it will be available in other systems like quality system. So here when you just have to click here and do release directly. So if a development is not to be transported, you can assign the transport package $10. And in BW transport, it will happen. I mean, it is a standard transport package in BW transport. So if you are not dealing, if you are not setting, if the setting is not standard transport, then it is automatically a BW transport. That is the other one. And in this case, yeah, it will automatically write to the dollar temp and this is non-transportable. Whatever you created, it is local and it is non-transportable. It cannot be transported unless you change it and unless you collect those objects separately into the transport request. So further, this is the landscape. So I have given navigation for, you can see in the modeling, you have transport connection. So this is like business content. You have to install the objects. So you have to keep the settings like in data flow before and after rows, for example, and you have to do all the settings, related settings. So this is for mass processing. If you want to collect whole data flow without an effort, you just have to go to the, InfoCube, drag and drop it here. It will take data flow before and data flow afterwards, and it will install. So it took all the necessary objects here. So for that purpose, there is a select objects, and you have to select your InfoCube and you have to transfer selections, and it will be transported. It will be here, and you have to check all these